Oh, I mean, oh my goodness, folks. Oh my goodness. Billy B saw, oh, Tom, I thought we were each going to have, I thought we agreed that we would have 1 year to kind of just get everything in place and then we would go after it. But hey, if Tom Brady wants to go, year one, win a ring, I guess I got to go and step up. So Bill Belichick was a little busy last night and yesterday just trying to get everybody. So the first one, probably the best one, the Patriots signed tight end Hunter Henry to a 3-year, $37 million deal. So once again, we know the Patriots love their tight ends. I mean, Rob Gronkowski, they had Aaron Hernandez, didn't end well, but they still had him and he was still good. So Patriots trying to recreate that because not only did they get Hunter Henry, they also got Jonnu Smith, tight end from the Titans. So now two great tight ends. And when we kind of look at what they were doing last year, Hunter Henry putting up 600 yards. He's put up 600 or more yards in the last 2 seasons. And then Jonnu Smith putting up 400 yards in the last 2 seasons. So obviously not the same production as Gronk or Travis Kelce, because Gronk, I mean, he was putting up, solid 600 to 800, but he also broke 1,000 a couple times in his career as well. And then Travis Kelce, well, the man's been a 1,000-yard receiver for the last 5 straight seasons. So they're not going to get that great of production just quite yet. I mean, these aren't A1 tier 1 tight ends. These are probably tier 2, the second tier here. Until you reach 1,000 yards receiving as a tight end, you cannot be in that top tier category. But they do have the ability to try and go out and get that 1,000 yard. I think Hunter Henry a little bit more than Jonnu Smith, but still good tight ends here, helping Cam Newton out a little bit more. More safety blankets. The tight end and the running back really kind of safety valves on passing routes. So Cam Newton gets some help here at the tight end position. But not only did they get tight ends, they went out and got actual wide receivers. So they went out and got Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne as well. Now, alrighty, who's their quarterback? It's still Cam Newton. What do we know about Cam Newton? He can't really elevate receivers into like something better than what they are. He can't transform, tier 2 wide receivers into tier 1. He would really have to have just tier 1 wide receivers for kind of, him to be, successful. So let's start here with Nelson Aguilar. He's never had a 1,000-yard wide receiving season, so that's not good. He just ended with 896 yards last year with the Raiders, and we know they like to gun it out. Derek Carr's got a big arm, so Derek Carr couldn't even get him 1,000 yards. So it's going to be interesting to see what Cam Newton does with him. And when we look at his catch percentage, it's not anything great. His highest catch percentage season was 66%. I mean, you haven't ever gotten 70. It's not great. The last 2 seasons catching 56% and 58% of the passes. I mean, he was with Philadelphia basically his entire career, and then just last season, the lone season with the new team with the Raiders. And do you all not remember the the guy on the news of the fireman, throwing the kids out the window, and the man was like, "Lucky I caught him," not like Nelson Aguilar. That's Nelson Aguilar, the man that's not really reliable on catching. And now you're gonna pair him up with Cam Newton. Okay, all right. You got some other options, so we'll see. And now let's go to, who do we say? Kendrick Bourne. And once again, he's a little worse than Nelson Aguilar, not an A1 tier 1 wide receiver. His highest receiving season was last year with 667 yards. So once again, I mean, not that 1,000-yard receiver that you kind of need to have on your team. I mean, have I ever brought up that Teddy Bridgewater had 2,000-yard wide receivers this season alone? Okay, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Cam Newton's definitely going to have his work cut out for him. Fortunately for Cam Newton, Kendrick Bourne's catch percentage is a little bit better than Nelson Aguilar. 66% last season, 68% the season before that. So, he's putting up 63 or 60 kind of 5+ yard percentage catching these last couple of years. So, a little bit more reliable than Nelson Aguilar, but how are they going to work together? I think these tight ends are going to be probably a little bit more used than these wide receivers are. But then they also got better on defense. They're picking up Matthew Judon. They're getting Jalen Mills. And then also Dante Hightower and Patrick Chung are returning because they both opted out of, the season last year because of COVID. So now they get better on defense. They get their veterans back on defense. So they can make a push. And now Bill Belichick can do whatever he wants in the draft. He can go and get that quarterback to kind of back up Cam Newton if it's not going to work out, which I don't know if it is. I mean, these are some solid talent right here, but these are all tier 2 players. Nobody here is a tier 1 A1, standout wide receiver that I can rely on with 50-50 balls consistently, that they'll come down with them, that they'll make the best effort to go out and get them. Where I put them high and away, I think they can go up and get it high and away. Don't really know if any of these wide receivers can really do that consistently, especially for Cam Newton, who's really not. He's good. He's decently accurate. I mean, when we're looking at his passers, like we said, let's just go back to these wide receivers. Derek Carr only got Nelson Aguilar 896 yards on 58% catch percentage. So is Cam Newton a more accurate thrower of the football than Derek Carr? I don't really think so. I mean, they're tied at best, but I think I give it to Derek Carr. And then we go to who should we go to? I was gonna say Kendrick Bourne, but I mean they had a quarterback carousel over the last couple of seasons. So his little, only 667 yards and not being that kind of number one wide receiver on his own team, and then having, 3 different quarterbacks, not be, 3 different quarterbacks all playing last season. So I'll give, Kendrick Bourne a little bit of a pass. We'll see if Cam Newton can make him work. But then I want to go to Jonnu Smith, the tight end for the Titans. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, a little bit more of a better accurate passer than Cam Newton. And, he's only giving his tight ends 448 yards. So I just don't know if Cam Newton's going to be able to elevate any of these players to get the Patriots back on track here, to get them into playoff contention, to get them into kind of Super Bowl contenders, to get them to win the Super Bowl. It's going to be tough for Cam. I mean, he's got to make these weapons work. I mean, if you give me all these are like 4 solid playmakers here on the offensive side of the ball. Cam Newton should be having success here. If any quarterback doesn't have success with this kind of roster, I mean, there's really no hope for him. I mean, you can't just be like, well, I can't play good passing football because I don't have great wide receivers. That does not fly in this league. I mean, there's teams that barely have any talent and are still making it work. So now you give us 2 great catching tight ends and 2 good solid wide receivers, and you're still not making it work. I mean, now we'd have to start looking at the passers. So Cam Newton definitely has his work cut out for him. He's got to make all these weapons work. I don't know if he can, though. I don't know if this is the group of talent here that's really going to help Cam Newton out. So we'll see what happens in the draft if they go over Mac Jones. I still think Bill Belichick is going to draft Mac Jones, back up Cam Newton a little bit, and probably will take over if Cam Newton is still struggling in this season. So we'll see what happens. But Patriots went out and made their moves, so that's all you can ask for, right? Alrighty, let's see. Should we go over this? Let's see what this is about. We get a little highlight package here of Hunter Henry catching the ball, so let's see how much of a dangerous weapon this man's going to be. I mean, he was catching passes from Phillip Rivers. We get the one-handed catch right here. Look at that. That might help Cam Newton out a little bit, not being totally accurate down the field throwing. So, I mean, the one-handed catches from Hunter Henry could help him out a little bit. All right, here we go. In the end zone, thrown perfectly, goes up and gets it. Back of the end zone, wide open, can create space in the end zone. In the front of the end zone, almost triple teamed. No, he's going to take a little bit of a hit. Able to secure the ball, going over the top, catching it, falling to the ground, securing. I mean, look at that. Look at that track of the ball. Absolutely fantastic over his shoulder. Able to get behind the defense in the end zone, laying it all out there. Oh, look at that full extension. Hunter Henry, he'll go out and get it. So Cam Newton just place it in the vicinity of this man. He'll go up and get it. And look at this. He's on Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann Mathieu can't even cover this man. Yes, sir. Oh, yes. Look at that. Oh, my God. That's a perfect pass. Whoever threw this ball, I see fans in the stands, so I still think that's Phillip Rivers, but holy moly. And right here in triple coverage, goes up and gets it, makes the catch. Alrighty, now in the end zone, Justin Herbert making him work, corner of the end zone. Look at that ball. Oh, my goodness. Woof. Justin Herbert once again throwing it to, and he goes down. He can go up and get it. He can go all the way down to the ground to get it. He can go full extension, go out and get this ball. So Cam Newton, hey, you just got to be decently accurate with this man. He'll go out and get it. So, alrighty, Hunter Henry, watch out for this man. Ooh, that was impressive. All right, that got me hyped for Hunter Henry this season. Damn. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here because, just because, the Patriots went out and spent so much money does not guarantee that they're going to be successful. Like we just said, those aren't A1 solid pieces that you can rely on a night in, night in basis. The quarterback still needs to go and make precise throws for all these wide receivers, and then it's still kind of a 50-50 chance. We just saw their catch percentages. It's nothing great, nothing fantastic. So we get this tweet by Adam Schefter. In the last 24 hours, the Patriots have guaranteed over $137.5 million, placing them second in NFL history for most guaranteed money in a free agent signing period. The record could be theirs before free agency officially begins at 4 p.m. today. So they are the second most guaranteed money in a free agent period signing. So let's see kind of how they fare to their rest of the competition. So the number one was the Dolphins last season. We put up $147 million and we missed the playoffs. Yes, we had a good record. I think we still went 10-6, just one game short of that playoff, but we still missed the playoffs even though we got so much talent in before that free agency signing period starts. And then in 2019, the Jets spent $131 million. They missed the playoffs. The 2016 Giants, they put up $107 million. They lost in the wild card. The 2018 Bears, $102 million. They lost in the wild card. Mitch Trubisky still couldn't get it done with all those other great $102 million worth of pieces. Unfortunate. Then in 2018, the Jets again. Look at this Jets putting all this money up and still can't even make the playoffs. 2018, they put up $100 million. They missed the playoffs. 2019 for the Jets, they put up 131. They were like, hang on. All right, we put up 100 million and still miss the playoffs. Let's get out 30 more million, folks. 131 million the next year and still miss the playoffs. So it's not guaranteed that this is going to work, and I don't know if it truly is, especially with Cam Newton at the quarterback of what he showed us last season. But at least he's got more help, right? That was our biggest probably red flag of the Patriots just last season. They had no great offensive pieces. Now they bring in some offensive pieces, so now it's up to Cam Newton to sink or swim. We'll see what he does, and if the Patriots do draft Mac Jones, he'll have some competition.